lovely introduction. Yes, I do travel a lot and I love it because that is the way I get to know all of you and meet such wonderful people. As you know, I am Anila. I'm the president of it started out as a Muslim organization, Muslim American Multifaith now, Women's Empowerment Council. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because our organization is quite unique. It is unique because it started out as a movement of Muslim women in America wanting their civil rights after 9/11. Of course, we were all a little fearful, what's going to happen? But yes, I was a mother and I was a very engaged member of the American community. I was a public school teacher in California. And so I was very concerned as to what is going to happen to our community. And I made America my home many years ago. And I made it my home because I thought it was the freest country in the world. I could wear what I want, I could say what I want. That is why I moved to America. And so 9/11, after that, I felt, oh my God, is my dream gonna come true? Am I gonna be able to, is my daughter gonna be able to do that? That was my biggest concern. And so, my journey began and I said, okay, I know what my father said. My father told me, you're making America your home. You better roll up your sleeves, get in the schools, make sure what your kids are doing, and that you share your culture. And that's what I did as a Muslim American woman. And all of those identities are really, really important to me because I feel that the more I share, the more I counter the stereotypes about Muslim women. Now, you guys know there are many stereotypes about us, right? And I hear that on a daily basis. A lot of people in the beginning after 9/11 would say, does your husband beat you up? And I said, not yet. He might. And just thinking about it and saying, my neighbors don't know about Islam, they don't know about me, they don't know what real Islam is. And I have to embrace my own religion and say, you know what, that's not Islam. And let me tell you what Islam is. So that is sort of how my journey began. And, as I joined Muslim organizations, a new kind of challenge began for us Muslim American women. We found our men telling us, hey sister, you can't sit here, go to the kitchen. Oh, okay, but I don't go to the kitchen even in my house, so I'm not going to the kitchen here in the mosque either. So that was a new kind of discrimination that we were feeling, that here we are trying to build bridges with the interfaith community in America, trying to counter the Islamophobia and all the misconceptions, and our own men are not giving us equal opportunity and equal space at the table. That bothered me more than anything else. And so I went to the US government and I said, let's do something about this because I don't feel that these men represent our point of view. We are 50% of the world. We are 50% of America. And we don't have an equal opportunity even in our own spaces. So this kind of bigotry was very prevalent, is still very prevalent. And even today, in a lot of the religious spaces, we need help. And when we turn to others, who we're going to turn to? Our Christian, Jewish, interfaith women. The women that are here from America. Where are my sisters from America? Shout out to you for helping us. Women like Shirin have stood right next to us and empowered us. And that is one of the reasons we brought you guys together, that we will be stronger if we are together. If we build these bridges, we're going to be able to say, I have a sister in Tunisia. Manal, you're here now. I have a sister in Japan. And we come together for other people. And so, in another way, I want you to think about me as a Muslim American woman. I had to open up the Quran and say, what is my religion saying? Why am I here? Let me learn about my religion. And one of the verses from the Quran that stood out, and I used that, is I have created you from a male and female and made you into different tribes so that you may get to know each other. So for my Muslim sisters here, by being here, you are living Islam. I am living Islam when I hang out with Shirin and all my other interfaith sisters. My board member Rana's here. She and I did something very, very dangerous. We said that we're gonna change the way people think, that we're gonna change the way people think about religion. You know, religion can be super cool. I think my religion is pretty cool. I don't know about others, but I like it. And I think that was our thinking, making religion really cool. Yes, come to our interfaith iftars. We're gonna go to churches, we're gonna go to synagogues. And that is what we're doing, we're living Islam. And so we decided that as women peacemakers, you know, we crossed the very hard and difficult bridge. We built it with the American community. We came together with multi-faith women and men, with our law enforcement, with our government, and we had a seat at the table, we still do. And what was it that was still missing? Why were people coming and still asking me, you know, do Muslims hate Shias? Do Muslims hate Christians? Do Muslims hate Jews? How am I going to fight Islamophobia if people don't understand that my religion is not like that? And so we were answering all of these questions to everybody. You know, this is like a social media as well. And we decided that the only way we can do that is by using our religion to do good. And it starts with us as mothers, as women, because we do have a unique voice. We do have a unique position in society where we can very, you know, sensitively, very emotionally raise our kids, raise our boys to make sure that they give equal rights to the girls and that they understand we're going to treat them equally. And so we decided that we are going to change the way people think. The first step was ourselves, Rana and I from Pakistan, and we decided that we would change the way things are. If we are practicing religion freely, we're able to open up a mosque, we can go to, you know, we can start a mosque anywhere in America. I very often see people just standing, you know, on a pavement and then doing salah, prayers. And I said, you know, wow, that's the religious freedom that we enjoy in America. And nobody gets to hear about that. We just hear the bad things. But what about me? When I go to meet my friends in the churches and synagogues, they ask me, you know, what's happening in Pakistan? So how do I change that? So we decided that we would enter the very difficult space of Pakistan religious freedom, and then we would go there and wake up women like me, who have been to Catholic schools, who've been exposed to a lot of different people of different religions, and we would tell them, you know what, religious freedom, women's right, everyone, everywhere. And so we did that. But we couldn't just go there and say, you know, we're here to change the way the imams and the mullahs are going to think. But we said, hey, we're coming together. We're going to bring our interfaith groups, and we're going to have an interfaith conference. And that's what we did in Pakistan. We didn't know how it's going to go, but we brought together women that I grew up with as a young person in Pakistan. They were actresses, they were fashion designers, and then I invited my brothers, the imams and the mullahs and all these other politicians, and I said, no, you must come. Let's talk about women's rights. Let's talk about how good Islam is, and that we're going to build this image of Pakistan. And you can be sure they all showed up. And there I was in the middle of, you know, a big interfaith conference, and all the schools of Islam were there, and there were the transgender community as well. And I said, oh my gosh, like this is great. And when they started talking, they talked about religious freedom. I did not have to initiate that conversation with them. And so they started talking about women's rights, which comes right after that. Why? Because they're all related. The two groups of people that are oppressed: women, minorities, okay? And so they were all present. And so my friend, who's an actress in Pakistan, she went up to the imam and she said, you said this on social media, that women should not be dressing inappropriately. They cause things to themselves. And he said, no, sister, I never said that. And so the whole conversation began. And these women, my friends, you know, educated, empowered women, they said, you know, we've never come so close to an imam and a mullah. And so now we're able to say all of this to them. That was our first conference. We have had roundtables all across Pakistan, bringing these different groups together to have conversations about religious freedom, women's rights.
Because if we can empower the minorities, the women, we'll be able to make a better society where people are accepting, open, and tolerant. So that was what we were doing in Pakistan. We realized, like, somebody called us from Pakistan and said, I'm a Jew and I'm Pakistani, and my mother was Moroccan and she was Jewish. And I said, okay. He said, I want to go to Israel and I want to go to the Wailing Wall because I'm Jewish. My mother was Jewish. And so I said, okay, went to Pakistan to meet him, and I realized, like, he's a big advocate for the Jewish community in Pakistan. But you've all heard, like, it wasn't very easy to do that. So I said, okay, let's meet him. Yes, his mother was Moroccan and his father's Pakistani. And so, you know, according to Jewish tradition, he was Jewish. And so I said, okay, if I can do that for you, I'll be very happy. And so I came back, spoke to my board, and we said, okay, you know what? Things haven't worked for 70 years. Yeah, we keep talking about peace, but nobody really does it. We're women, we don't care. We're mothers, we're sisters, we're gonna do this. And we will take Fishel Ben Khlad to Israel, and we'll take him to the Wailing Wall. So we got a group of women together. And so we got a group of women together, and we said, okay, we will talk to the government. We did get permission from the government and the military in Pakistan. They said, no, wallahi, you can do this. This is great. Women are doing this, our women. Okay, fine. So we go there, we have all the permissions, and we take a journalist from Pakistan as well, who knows Arabic, very fluent, and knows MENA region. And we arrive in Israel, and little did we know that this was a very unusual event. You know, you have Pakistanis in Israel. The president of Israel wanted to meet us, and we said, okay, so this is going to be public. And I told the two gentlemen from Pakistan, I said, if you want, you can just not take a picture with the president. We'll take it. But yeah, you know, we know you'll have a lot of repercussions when you go back, because on the passport, a Pakistani passport, it says all countries except Israel. And so I said, no, don't. And we enter the president's palace, and then we meet the president of Israel. And he is just this amazing guy who welcomes us, and we sit down, and he genuinely wants to know where we're from. What is our history? And what drove you, women, to do this? This is what we all need to do. Disrupt the narrative that is not working. Start new narratives of peace. And so I gave him my story. We all shared our story. And there it was. The story went out. And that was the day Pakistan's government, Imran Khan's government, was deposed. That was the same day. And the government used that picture of ours with the president to say, USA and Israel, the evil duo, got together and deposed me. That's what Imran Khan said. And so there were trolls all over the internet, and there were, all the publications, of course, fatwas from Hamas, Hezbollah, Iranian regime, saying, ban them, kill them. And we said, okay, we can't go. But I have this brave woman here who, after that, went to Pakistan. From Israel, she went straight to Pakistan. She, of course, her family was really scared for her safety. I was told I can't go because I was all over the media, and I was sitting in Greece where people were following me and trolling me and my family in Pakistan, and I was giving interviews. But you know what? After like 6 weeks of kill her, ban her, everything changed. There was a whole group of men in Pakistan, supporters of peace, the young people living in the north all the way up to the south of Pakistan, who came on social media. One of my videos was watched by 3 million people. And they said, we love this. We love our women doing this. Why? Because Pakistan is used to having women leadership. We have had a woman, and does anyone know who that was? Benazir Bhutto. And so these men said, yeah, our women can do great things. And the whole public opinion changed. After a couple of months, State Department said, yes, Anila, you can go. And when I went there, there were imams, mullahs, pastors, clergy calling me all over Pakistan and saying, come sister, we'll do an interfaith forum. Interfaith, interfaith, interfaith. And then one brother of mine, he called me and he said, we want to celebrate Hanukkah. I said, oh, it's yes. And it just happened that December was the month of Hanukkah and it was the month of Christmas. So my point being that women have the power. We have it to change the way people think. And if we set our mind to it, and if we collaborate and we travel to every country, even though it may be a difficult country, we're going to be able to change all the narratives. I think Morocco, thank you. I congratulate the Moroccan king. I think that His Majesty has done something amazing. You have now all embraced your Jewish identity. You have had these beautiful people of Prophet Abraham with you. I tell all my Muslim friends that yes, as Muslims, we believe in Jews and Christians are our people of the book. And we can't be Muslims unless we believe in Bible and Torah and all these great prophets. So no, we cannot hate anybody. And so they say, really? Well, 5 times a day when we pray, what do we say? Durood Ibrahimi. And so we are now living it. And I hope that my country, where I was born, Pakistan, also embraces some sort of Abraham Accord or just their cultural identity. Now that we have started the conversation in Pakistan, I can't tell you how many women and men are contacting me and saying that, you know what, my grandparents were Jewish and I was forced to convert, or my mother was Christian and Anila, I'm dying of cancer, I want to be buried next to my mother, they're not letting me get buried because it's, my brother is a Muslim and he's saying you will go to hell and take us all to hell. There are real issues in our world. Religion can't be dividing us. Every religion teaches us to live together. And if that is being used to do things like that, I feel as American women, you as Moroccan and women from all these amazing countries, you also have a duty to help the other. Just like Astrid gave me a helping hand, there were 2 American women. One was a Muslim, one was a Jew. They both gave me that helping hand when I needed help. And they showed me how to advocate for myself as a Muslim, how to advocate for myself and my community of Muslim women. We live in America, but a lot of us, we still think we are living back home. Back home has changed, but we have domestic violence in America, in the Muslim community, in the Uyghur community, in the Pakistani, Bangladeshi, you name it. All these communities, now the imams are coming and saying, and I said, no, it's not my job to say anything, it is your job. You are the man. You need to say that it's haram to hit a girl. It's haram to force people to convert. It is haram to beat your wife. You can't be a follower of the Prophet of Islam, blessing to mankind, and say you're going to beat your wife? No. And they are now saying, yes, we need to come forward, invite us, we will speak. So it isn't just our job to save the women in our community from this abuse, to give them that helping hand and to make them powerful. It is the job of the men too, which is why I salute all the men that are here. Thank you for being here. And as an American Muslim woman, I say I don't want to be ahead of the man. I want to be right next to him. I want you to be right next to me. Sometimes, yes, help me get up in the front, but don't push me in the back. I don't belong behind you. I need to be with you. So that is kind of what we do in America. But I'm very happy that I have seen some amazing things in Morocco. And as we meet today, we are going to take some things back to America with us, right, Shireen? Yes, I do travel to a lot of the countries. I saw this amazing woman the other day at the Medina, She's a woman wearing, a coat, and she had a hijab, and she got up on the scooter, and she came to buy these pieces of bread, and she said, I want 2-3 breads. She got up on her scooter, and she went to work. Now that was an empowering sight, and I salute you for having women like that. I think I want to see that in all of the countries, because the moment a woman can drive, as a transportation to work, that is when she can be empowered. And then I think that Morocco has developed this culture of diversity and inclusion. This is the place where I met a lot of men. They helped us, but not once did I feel insecure, or did I feel that, oh, that's creepy, don't talk to me. And I have had those experiences in many countries where I've said, no, I'm going to call the police. And so here, I must say that the men have been amazing. That's the culture we need to promote in all of our societies. Men have to respect the women. And that is when our societies are going to be stronger. Why? Because they're going to be tourists. They're going to be people coming, and women are going to feel safe. Like, I'm going to go back to America and say, this is one of the safest cities that I have been to. I'll tell you, in Washington, D.C., I don't really walk around at 9 o'clock. We were out till 12 o'clock in Morocco. Yes. So I say, fantastic. Thank you for doing that. And another thing I loved was when we went to the synagogue. We went to the synagogue in a Muslim majority country, and we were given a tour by a Muslim called Mustafa. Yes. How beautiful is that? Isn't that religious inclusion, diversity, tolerance? That's a role model country that I want to go back and share with everybody. That was really heartwarming for me to see that, because I have been told, no. In America, you can't trust Christians and you can't trust Jews. You cannot eat with them. They will use you. Really? Okay, then let them. But, these are all misconceptions. These are harmful to our community, and they will stop us from growing. And of course, they're going to poison our kids, which is why I'm always working hard, because I have a granddaughter and I want her to grow up in the most beautiful world. The other thing I loved in Morocco is that there are women entrepreneurs. We went to a restaurant, we go downstairs, there are 2 male chefs and there are 2 female chefs. Wow. If we can increase women in the workplace, I tell you, our world is going to change. It's not like that in the majority of the countries. We're working on it in America as well, but we need to work harder. We need to get our women and get them to work. We're having a challenge in Pakistan, but if we can take what you're doing here back to Pakistan, back to Bangladesh, and say, yeah, these are Muslim women that are working side by side men, things are going to change. Because yes, we want to see better examples. That is why we're here in the world. But I think the Moroccan cultural values have really helped us. And we're going to take all these lessons back. Yes, we all know that women's rights are human rights. And so I want you to think about this, that they are. And religious freedom is what we are today living. We live that in America, but it is our job as women and men of faith to make sure that everybody has that. And we can all do this by giving each other a helping hand. So as strong and empowered women, we must stand firmly for all of us, for each of us. We must work together to create an enabling environment where we can thrive together with other people. And yes, we must share our culture. We must share our religion. It is beautiful. All our religions are beautiful, all our faiths, and even if we don't have a faith, we must share our traditions. And so I ask all of you, let us work together. Let's make sure that this is not the only forum that you attend. So I say, see you next year. Thank you so much.
Wasn't she fabulous? Please.
Very good.
Talking about a compelling speaker and a true force of good, Anila. That's everything you said is so true. It's all about starting a conversation. You said it. It's all about giving a helping hand. And it starts with that. We don't need a big production. We just need to talk to each other. And I think you've succeeded. You found the right formula. You're courageous. You say the way it is. And thank you for joining us today. What a pleasure. And it is my honor to introduce an extraordinary woman. This wonderful lady is a Moroccan-born entrepreneur and founder